We often hear people complain that they don't have time. This is something rather interesting because all of us have 24 hours at our disposal each day. Yet, some people have time while many others don't have time. Today, we shall try to answer the question why some have time while others don't have time. We shall also try to see how you can join the group which has time. The first difference is routine. People who have time follow a routine, or more correctly, people who follow a routine have time. They have a well thought out sequence in which they do things. This order is never broken. If you specify the time, you can almost say what that person would be doing then. If you want to have time, the first thing you have to do is to work out a routine, adopt it, and stick to it religiously. People who have time are either early risers or late sleepers. They get up early in the morning, very early in the morning, and go to bed late in the night, very late in the night. It does not matter whether you are an early riser or a late sleeper, but you have to be one of the two. The main issue is that you must ensure that your waking day is as long as necessary. You cannot afford to spend all your time sleeping. You have to choose one of the two options. And that choice depends on so many factors. First of all, it depends on your personality. Whether you're a lark or an owl depends on your context. The demands placed upon you by your context, the sort of work that you do, the sort of career you pursue. Be that as it may, you have to make a choice. Either you are an early riser or a late sleeper. Those who have time are always those who have control over their time. This is a very important point. You must ensure that nobody is able to exercise any sort of control over your time if you want your time for yourself. You have to be possessive about your time. You have to take charge of your time. You have to ensure that the control of your time lies exclusively in your hands. If you ask those who have time how they work, they are sure to tell you that they prioritize their activities. You have 5 things to do, but what is the order in which you are going to deal with them? It is not enough that you carry out the activities. You have to decide beforehand what is the priority, what is the order in which you are going to carry out the activities. Allocation is as important as prioritization. It is not enough that you decide the order in which you carry out each activity. You should also decide the time you will take to carry out each activity. You should allocate the appropriate time for each activity and try to carry out each activity within that time allocated. Those who have time prioritize the day's work at the beginning of each day, and also the day's allocation of time. Perfectionists never have enough time. If you have to do each task perfectly, you are sure to run out of time. On the other hand, those who have time are not perfectionists. You have to refuse to be a perfectionist if you must have time. However, there are certain contexts which demand perfection and perfectionism. I have created a video on perfectionism, and I shall provide the link in the description box. Please take a look at the video. There is no point in setting a deadline if you cannot keep it. Those who have time are persons who fix deadlines and meet deadlines. They are decisive. They are able to take quick and confident decisions. Decision making has to be cultivated by you if you want to have time. You have to set deadlines, meet deadlines, and be decisive. All of us face distractions, but good time managers know how to avoid distractions and avoid distractions religiously at that. Of all the distractions, the most dangerous are, of course, online ones. This does not mean that you should not go online. You should go online, but you should set apart time for that. If you spend the whole day scrolling, well, I'm sure that you will belong to the second category. You will belong to the group of people who never have enough time. The person who has time knows to delegate, or more accurately, he who delegates has time. This is because you cannot be everywhere. You cannot do everything yourself. You have to learn how to utilize the services of others. So, delegate what need not be done by yourself. The decision to use online tools can be a brilliant step towards managing your time. There are some very fine online tools available, and you should make full use of them in order to handle your time. What those tools are, how they are to be used, and how useful they are will be the subject matter of another discussion.